What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio is the king of golf, a.k.a. Mario Kart Daddy, a.k.a. the VR MVP, a.k.a. the homeboy, Adrian Holmes. What's up?
What's going on, good sir?
How's it going? Welcome.
I know it's a lot of hats to wear, but I do it. I do it for the team. I do it for us. You know?
Yeah, I know. You just I'm glad that you're here because, you know, my neck couldn't hold the weight of all those hats. I couldn't hold the weight of that crown. So I'm glad that we have someone strong who I can just climb up on your back and you can just carry us to victory, you know?
We're a team. That's what we do.
Yep, just rely on you, the best man here.
Adrian, I'm so glad he can climb on your back because I've been carrying him for the last 2 years on this show. And now that you're here, it's like a little bit of stress off of my shoulders. And folks, in case you didn't know, I am the voice of the people. My name is JJ Purdom, and I am the true host of this show, along with Adrian,
right. Of course. Do your own intro.
Because I am the voice of the voiceless. Yeah. And I'm back from dying of COVID a second time, or whatever the heck was going on with me. So I ended up missing like 10 days of work, but honestly, it's okay. It's Nebraska, so it's not that expensive to live out here.
Fine.
And we do have the greatest zoo on the planet, nay, in the galaxy.
Okay, I'm glad you're just sticking to those guns.
JJ is like the king of the north of the podcast. It's just like, yeah, Garrett's running the show, but you know, JJ's planning that uprising over there. He's just waiting for the opportune time.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back, JJ. It was rough. We didn't have you that one episode, and last week, you know, you guys both bailed on me, just left me to freeze out in the cold.
Sorry, man.
It was horrible.
Orders came up from the boss. I have to go.
Yeah. I see how it is. You know,
Meaning I was playing Metal Gear 3 at work. Don't tell anybody.
I'm just your fake boss. I'm just your fake boss. Is that all I am to you? Just a fake boss? Okay, never mind. You don't have to answer that. That's fine. But
look, man, what do you want me to do? Okay, I only had one calorie mate left. Okay, I was getting ready to go up, sneaking through the grass. There was 3 other dudes out there. I was like, I have to plan this. I have to figure this out or I'm going to die. Okay, I was like, Garrett, I can't do this. Okay, I can't do the show and sneak around. Okay, I got orders from you, aka Big Boss, but I got orders from the boss, and you know she don't play.
She don't play. You made the smart choice. You made the smart choice there. But something we didn't get to talk about last week because we didn't have a show was your visit, dude. Like, that was so much fun. I just want to say on air in front of everyone, Adrian's super cool in real life. You know, he's cool on the podcast through the virtual camera thing, but you know, in real life, he's pretty awesome too. So yeah, thanks for coming down. That was a ton of fun.
Thanks for having me, man. I had a blast.
Hung out for a couple days, ate some good food. Played some
I'm still thinking about that charcoal ice cream. So good.
It sounds crazy, but it was amazing. Was it activated charcoal vanilla?
Yeah.
It was.
Oh my God. I miss it so bad.
It looked like, you know, exactly what you'd think it was. It was just black, jet black, you know, like it's like, this doesn't look like it should taste good. Like it doesn't look edible, but it was amazing.
But it is.
The best
trust me, it's
had.
edible.
Of all the things you guys did, I love that we have on our YouTube channel. You guys went to play VR together, and that was amazing. So you can check that out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/supergamerboys. And I was hoping that we were going to get video of your guys' sleepover, staying up with the tent popped up in the living room.
Oh, dude.
And telling ghost stories and stuff like that.
You know what really happened? We got home. I think it was the first night we got home, and we played a good deal of Mario Kart.
Yeah, we streamed. So watch us.
Yeah, we streamed that. It was me, Garrett, and our Patreon producer, Toby. And then the next night we got home, and the only thing I remember is saying, all right, man, thanks for, I had a good time. And
we played, we were going to play GameCube, but you couldn't get your GameCube working, which, by the way, did you get that fixed?
I think I know what the issue is. It's a couple of parts I have to order and replace. It looks like my disk drive might be out of whack, so I might have to get but the part's only like $20-something, so that's fine.
That's not
I
bad.
think that might be the one thing that's holding it up. So
Yeah, but yeah,
So
I remember we got
thing-
home. We were gonna play GameCube, and then you couldn't get it working. So then we ended up playing that 51 board games right around the Switch thing. Remember?
yeah, I
We
got
played
my
like a
I got
couple-
my head handed to me.
We played a couple games of that, and then we'd all just conked out. We were so tired. It was like it was a long day.
It's really hard to tell from doing an audio podcast and just basically seeing Adrian's head and nipples. But you guys are very tall people.
That's the Patreon feed. I got my shirt on for this one.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
You guys are deceptively like far too tall. And I noticed that Toby was as well. You guys are way too tall. Anything over 5'4" is a waste, I feel. I think that's
Just
that's
bones.
actually a scientific fact. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think Danny DeVito is a strapping individual. And I think that guys like you guys, it's just way too much. You know what I mean? Way too much with the height stuff. You all were like ridiculously tall. That's what I noticed in the video. I don't know what you guys noticed.
I mean,
you look like you had fun too. So.
Oh yeah, no, that definitely. I mean, Garrett is
it was-
definitely,
yeah,
he's a giant man. I think he clocks in at about 7'2", so
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's super tall, which is weird with
At
those
least.
little tiny small hands. He's got like very small hands and he smells like cabbage.
everybody that doesn't understand, like this is Garrett sitting up at his desk right now. Just look if you're watching on YouTube, but like his legs are doing like this under the desk right now, and he's basically sitting like this because he's like 10'3".
I actually have holes cut through the wall for my feet to go through.
To go through,
So-
yes.
And then there's like a weird little box. So if you actually walk around outside my office and look at the outside of the building,
See,
it looks
You'll just see little
there's
feet
like-
kicking.
Yeah, there's little
Yeah.
feet kicking out there. It's great.
Yeah, and I actually researched it. It's called acromegaly, and so it's the same the same giantism disease that Andre the Giant had. And so
Makes sense.
yeah, it's weird to not have anything going on with your cranium. I mean, I've always thought your head looked weird, but it's it's neat that your brows and ridges didn't do like that weird thing where they overgrow and overshoot your face.
Well, it's
The
all
Neanderthal
about
thing.
with the when we're on camera, it's all about perspective. I can make myself look any way I want with the right perspective. So I aim the camera just the right way. Movie magic. Next thing you know, I just look like a normal human being. So,
Garrett, I don't see a BB anywhere.
I can't
what's
find
going on with
batteries.
that?
I can't find batteries for it. Okay, that was honestly the highlight of the trip. Oh man, oh frick! Oh, everything on my desk is falling.
I porter this all the way over 500 miles to you, and you don't even have the courtesy to put it up for me.
Whoa.
This is a box straight from the Death Stranding. While we're living our own extinction event here, I got a box from another extinction event, and dude, I got some sick packaging tape from the game.
Dude.
You wouldn't know, JJ, because you've never played it.
I played the game. I played. I watched
sweet-
other people play.
Sweet little Ludens keychain. You can't see it because my camera won't focus, but this is this is where it's at right here.
I think I'm gonna add Porter to my list of names. I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna do that because I definitely did that.
Wow.
This is
Look at that.
BB.
That's
This is
awesome.
BB. Isn't that awesome?
Look at that. So
That
sick.
is amazing.
I just need to make a suit now where I can actually strap it to my
Halloween's
chest.
coming up, man. Halloween is coming up. You got it right there. Look.
That is
Go to the
amazing.
store, get
looking.
you some vacuum hoses.
So
Put it like that.
He's got a
It's
realistic BB from Death Stranding.
For you audio listeners, I have an actual BB courtesy of Adrian, aka the Porter.
There we go.
Yeah, it actually, so you can put batteries in it. It lights up. You press this little button here, and then it actually glows eerily while it's on your shelf behind you. But it was really funny. My wife, not happy about it. She was
Really?
not happy about it. She is more like freaked out that there's a baby in a bottle. She thinks it's like kind of weird and gross and messed up. She's like, that's really messed up. Like,
How is she not familiar with us though? Because Death Stranding is like your favorite game. So I feel like she would have seen a BB unit once or twice.
Adrian, when you get married, you'll understand one day. You'll understand one day.
Like, I feel like she would have known you have an obsession with this. Like,
yeah. Lots of stuff doesn't make sense, Adrian. Yeah.
She's like, Garrett, why are you all of a sudden drinking all these Monster energy drinks? What's going on?
Yeah, she didn't like that either, though. But yeah, so that was amazing. So thanks, Adrian, for bringing that. That was honestly the best part of the trip.
No problem,
Just
man.
getting that back.
Oh, was it him coming and bringing his...
No. I know. I understood what he meant. I got it. I understand. That was the most thing he was excited for. I got it. You know, Death Stranding is way up here. You know, I could never take the place of Kojima in his heart. I couldn't do it.
Oh,
absolutely true.
No one can.
Absolutely true.
Oh man. Okay.
Trudy is still trying to this day.
She's trying, and that's the best. That's the best anyone can do. You know.
I did hear that he did say, "Honey, you're a close second."
You're right.
Very.
He said it on the altar. He was like, "Look, you're no Kojima. Hey, but you'll do."
Yeah, that was in his little, like, you know, verbiage that he read to her, you know, his vows to her, and I'm sure, like, at the time he didn't have podcast experience, so it was probably like a little stuttery, really like he used to speak before I taught him how to speak English, because he used to have like a bad speech impediment and a stutter when I first met him, and so I educated him. Like, go back and listen to the original podcast.
No,
he was
don't
like,
do that. Definitely don't do that.
Oh yeah, the whole time. Come on. Yeah, you did. You know.
All right,
so I'm sure
let's
it was
move
like,
on with the show here. Today, we're talking about why we haven't seen much of Halo Infinite, what WB Games is bringing to FanDome, how beautiful Dead Space is, and if we're really getting Game Boy games on the Switch. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producer, Tobin Dalton, and our Super Gamer sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, Brent Fox, Daniel James, and Mama Mare. Thank you all so much for the support. And thank you for Toby for being our Sherpa there on that day when we going around San Diego. He drove us around, and because he's lived here a lot longer than me. So that's the other thing. Adrian's like, oh, just take me around. I'm like, you don't understand. I work from home and I just moved here. I don't leave. Like, I haven't been anywhere. I don't know all the cool spots. But yeah, so Toby took us around. It was a blast. So thanks for that, Toby. If you want to be awesome like these folks, support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can get our episodes early and ad-free, such as this one that you're listening to, and Super Gamer Book Club, I guess we can announce today, is also another one that you'll get early and ad-free, because we are now also releasing it to the world for free to the public. So it's no longer a Patreon exclusive, but so the catch is...
It is. It's a Patreon exclusive for a good while.
For a good while, exactly. Yeah. So you got 2 months where it's just your show. If you support us on Patreon for just $1, you can get the freshest episode of Book Club, as well as the first season with Zetch that is unreleased to the public there. So out today though, you can go to YouTube. You can go to on podcast services to search Super Gamer Book Club, and it will come up now where you can listen to our previously Patreon exclusive show. Now it's, the new one's going to have the ads for our Patreon on there, and it's going to be 2 months late. So, but if you want to get the hottest ones and get all that backlog, definitely still support us. But I just want to let you know, all you listeners, all you viewers, you can start listening in and see what you're missing out on. See what why do you need to support us? This is why. Because we have a blast.
If the clip from the last one was any indication of why you should be watching Book Club when it comes out, there's nothing else I can do to convince you.
So good. But
I stand by what I said, by the way.
Don't
say it. Don't say it.
Support us on Patreon.
I want them to go and watch it.
Support us on Patreon. Go watch that one.
I stand by what I said.
Stand by it. So this episode that came out Friday was the Hades episode with our guest Nate Fletcher, hosted by Adrian. It was a fun show. I enjoyed being on that one. Beautiful game, and then it was fun talking about it. So again, if you want to get that one, you got to support us. Or right now for free is the Undertale episode that had Steph from Normcore Gaming on there. That was a fun one too. Loved that game,
which is now available for everybody,
for everyone. And I guess, do you want to announce the next one? We're not showing the guest yet. We're still locking things in with a guest. But if you want to announce the games, what situation is with that?
So in honor of next month being a spooky month, we are doing Little Nightmares 1 and 2. And it's going to be me. It's going to be Mr. Morlang over there. And Juicy JJ Purdom. That's right.
Yeah, that's right,
It's
baby.
a fatal 4-way, possible fatal 4-way. I just got to lock in the guess. But it's going to be our entire crew and one special guest. And we're going to be talking about both Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Get a little spook in there.
Absolutely. That's the first time Garrett's ever had a 4-way. So pretty excited for that. Look forward to that on the what?
What?
Oh,
huh?
Okay.
We'll talk more about our Patreon later, but now I think it's time to check the mail.
Mailbag. Got it.
Check that mailbag.
I think I left the mail in.
Did you misplace
look in
it?
in that. It might be in that the parcel.
Oh, it's in the.
Yeah. See, I knew we were going to be doing this, but
Let's see. Okay.
I think isn't that
yes,
right there?
yes.
Yep. See, they don't call me the porter for nothing.
I got it. Okay, I got it. That's in Japanese. I can't. Oh, that's the other one behind it. That was just the instructions for the BB. Sorry. Here's the mail. All right. This first question comes from Sir Prince a lot. He actually had a bunch of questions. He was on a roll. I was like, he's a friend of mine, Derek. I was like, dude, you got to space him out a little bit. Give us a little time.
Write him down.
Give us a
Write him
breather,
down.
Write him down.
Put
pace
one
him
in there a
out.
week.
No,
See,
it's all
Adrian,
good.
I told you he had friends. You didn't believe me.
No.
But
I said he must have at least. He has us. That's 2. Right?
But you said other than us, he probably didn't have any other friends. And I was saying, I think he's got at least one more.
Was that after
So, I
you
mean,
visited me,
technically-
Adrian? Really? So after you visited me, you're talking to JD behind my back. You're like, hey, dude, he doesn't have any friends.
No, we've had this conversation several
No,
times.
this was
He's a
before. This
winner.
was like.
Oh, dang it.
This was a long time
This is
ago.
a okay. I see how it is. This first question from Sir Prince Lot is: an iconic video game is being made into a movie. The studio calls you to cast it. What's the movie and who are the stars? This is a meaty question.
An iconic video game. Interesting. I feel like you got one lined up, and I feel like it's going to be one that's already in production, so you can't use it. Sorry, you lose.
I mean, I do have something lined up, and it is already in production. But I just have, as far as we know, no one has been confirmed cast for it, right?
Oscar Isaac.
As Oscar,
Right?
okay, he's been confirmed. I wasn't sure if he's been officially confirmed, or I know everyone's said it's got to be him.
I thought
but
last I heard he was talking to him, right?
maybe. I mean, I don't doubt it. I would be like that's actually what I wrote. Because I do the show notes, so of course I get to answer the questions before you guys.
Yeah, cheater.
I said Oscar Isaac is a fantastic pick, but I was flipping through the old Rolodex, and I found this actor has not been, at least in anything I've watched recently, in a long time. But I was like, you know what? In the right costume, he could totally pass off as a Solid Snake, and that would be. By the way, we're talking about Metal Gear Solid. I realized we didn't say the name. We were just talking about.
I was like,
this
it's
movie,
you.
but
There's one or
it's
two
me.
things we're talking
Come
about.
on, guys. Come on. You all should know. Viggo Mortensen. I mean, he already has like the longer hair. So which he doesn't have in the first one, I guess. He has more in the second one. Like it's a little bit like the longer.
But
kinda like
is the
mullet-looking
physique
thing.
there?
I think so. I mean, he got in decent shape to play Aragorn back in the day.
I guess, but I don't know if he's gonna do anything. I can see him maybe as more of a big boss. Like his age is not screaming Solid
That's
Snake
true.
to me.
He's old now. He is very old now. So maybe, but I don't.
Did you just fail at casting
No.
Metal
Look up a
Gear
picture.
Solid Garrett?
No.
Look up at a picture of him. He has a look at least. It might be.
It's technically it's technically still a casting. It's technically still a casting
still casting
because
I
he
would
did just
much
cast
rather-
Big.
I'd much rather have Oscar Isaac, I think. But if I had to pick someone new, I think Vigo would be a close second. Michael Fassbender as Liquid. I think he'd be amazing. Liquid.
I can see that.
I could
That's
see
definitely
him.
a good
It'd
pick.
be killer. Just like the accent and everything. Just get him long, blonde, luscious locks. So good. For Revolver Ocelot, I was going back and forth between. So I've been playing through Metal Gear Solid 1. That's another thing I'm doing on stream. So follow us on Twitch if you want to watch me play it, or follow on YouTube. I'm uploading them all to YouTube. I'm playing through the entire Metal Gear Solid series. Did my first one Friday, played for 3.5 hours, and got through like quite a bit of the game, honestly. I was surprised at how quickly I was blowing through stuff. But Revolver Ocelot, listening to his voice, it's hard to pinpoint, like, what is his accent there? Because he's Russian, but it doesn't sound Russian.
Maybe it's like one of the outskirts countries.
Like, it almost sounds more like there's maybe a hint of Russian, but I mean, as we find out in like Metal Gear Solid 5 and stuff like that, he has like a huge thing for Western or even like in 3, he has a huge thing for Western movies, cowboys, stuff like that. So there even isn't that like Southern, but there's like a little bit of like an American accent.
Cowboy movies are usually the Wild West, so it'd be more Western than Southern.
Yeah, but he doesn't though. Like, he doesn't have a draw. He doesn't have like that cowboy draw, but he definitely has like an American accent.
Well, I mean, his whole style of combat is based on those cowboy movies. The way he, twirls his guns and holsters them and things like that. That's
no, and that's what I'm saying though. Is like he has that style, and he has like a more American accent, but he doesn't necessarily have a Southern accent or like a Western cowboy accent. I feel like maybe, I don't know, in my opinion. So, anyways, so I was just like, well, again, this guy's old as dirt, but Sam Elliott is been in so many Western movies. Like, he has the mustache. He could get the long white hair. He has the white hair. He's growing out longer. Like, he'd be killer. But if you want a younger pick, I have a Gary Oldman. I mean, younger, quote unquote, younger than Sam Elliott.
No way. I was just thinking. I'm trying to put the prosthetics on him in my mind. It's a stretch, but I think it could work. I think Sam Elliott looks more the part.
Yeah, no, he looks more the part, 100%.
But I just feel like Revolver Ocelot is not going to go around sounding like this.
No, and that's why I was like, I don't like Sam Elliott for the voice though, because he's gonna have like the deeper, gruffer, like actually like cowboy Western, Southern kind of, not Southern, but yeah, Western draw to him. But I don't know. So it's between those two. I don't really know. I haven't nailed down 100%. For Otacon, that was actually really hard to do Otacon. But the only thing I can come up with is maybe Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I don't know. I just make him play a nerdy dude. I don't know. I couldn't think of anyone else for Otacon. It was really hard.
What about that dude from the Sonic movie?
The guy who plays Sonic?
No.
Oh, I haven't watched the Sonic movie. So
the live action guy. He was Cyclops too. James Marsden, I think that was his name.
Oh no, that's the guy from Red Dead Redemption, isn't it?
I don't think so.
No,
that's John Marston.
No,
John
now I gotta look.
John
Hold
Marston
on.
is from Red Dead. Okay, never mind.
That's James Marsden.
And for Meryl, Emma Stone, the best actress out there.
Emma Stone. Look, I let you slide with that tweet, all right?
I was wondering if you were going to bring it up.
Don't. Emma Stone. No, it's going to be Amy Adams. Emma Stone.
Are you looking up the guy from whatchamacallit? Sonic? Okay.
Yeah,
that's all I have from Metal Gear.
I think he would be a good Otacon if you look him up.
I haven't seen a movie, and I can't think of anything else I've seen him in. So
no, but if you just search his name, it'll come up, and you'll be like, "Yep, I can see that as an Otacon."
Okay.
Marsden.
Cool. Do you guys have any movies and casting real quick? I know it's
well, funny enough, a second ago you said Red Dead Redemption. I was thinking like casting Red Dead Redemption 2. And if that were to be made into a movie, and I could see for Arthur Morgan, 'cause that's one of my favorite games. I love it. I know you didn't care for it and never finished it, Garrett. But I could see Dutch Vanderland, the big baddie in that, being played by like Josh Brolin. I see Josh Brolin, who played Thanos, being kind of a grow a big thick mustache and just be a bad guy. I think he'd be kind of awesome in that.
Yeah.
As far as who would play Arthur Morgan, like the hero, I don't know. I was thinking like who would be good in it, and I was picturing like a Heath Ledger, but he's dead, so I don't think that'll work. I don't know if they'll be able to cast him or not. So I don't know who they would pick for that. So, but I knew who the bad guy would be right away, but. Yeah, I guess I couldn't really come up with a name. I don't know who do you guys think would be good to play Arthur Morgan in the Red Dead Redemption 2?
I think what is his name? Tom Hardy.
Oh, Tom Hardy would be fantastic.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like
Dude,
that.
Tom Hardy would be fantastic.
It's very good. All right, Adrian, you got anything?
Yeah, I would do an Overwatch movie. But I would probably center it around maybe just like 3 characters, like maybe 3 different short stories put together. So like 3 short films, kind of, just to pad it out to the length of a movie. For Jesse McCree, or the character formerly known as Jesse McCree, I would probably put as Hugh Jackman. I think he could do a really good one.
Okay.
For Tracer, that's a tough one. I'm trying to nail it down. It's tough because do I want somebody who is actually English, or do I want somebody who is gonna do an English accent?
This is hard for me to help because I never really played Overwatch at all. So I know the characters. Like you're saying the names, I'm picturing them in my head, but
she's a slender mid-20s English woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Emma Stone.
No, she's not English, and also not. She wasn't available for the role. Sorry. I
just gotta keep.
I don't know why you keep throwing her in here.
He really likes Emma Stone. He's a big fan.
I
great
see.
Actress. She's fantastic. I haven't seen a movie with her in a long time.
Daisy Ridley.
Okay, that would be perfect. Yeah, I haven't seen a movie with Emma Stone in a long time. And so, JJ, to fill you in, I watched Cruella over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
An amazing movie. And Emma Stone killed it.
Right,
And
take
Adrian.
It down, Chief.
Yeah, you got really excited. You need to relax.
Adrian thinks I'm crazy for thinking that.
Adrian, I'm not sure if you're aware, but when he was doing his vows to Trudy, he did say it's Hideo, and then it was Trudy, and then Emma Stone. So I don't know if you knew that she was in the vows as well.
Yeah, she was also.
So that makes a lot of sense why you like that movie so much.
Oh man.
No, I can understand that. I can see that.
Hey, I'm a little bit late to my own party that I started with Red Dead Redemption 2, but another name that popped up in my head, Andrew Lincoln would be a great Arthur Morgan. Andrew Lincoln was Rick Grimes for years and years. Yeah. And I know that's kind of like along the same lines, but I think he's such a phenomenal actor. I could see
he's a great actor.
Like that off.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, cool. Next question from Sir Prince a lot is, well, okay, so here's the deal. He says, what's an embarrassing story Garrett knows about JJ that we haven't heard yet, since JJ has so many about Garrett? Here's the problem.
Uh-oh.
All of
Garrett,
JJ's embarrassing.
Walk easy, buddy. All of JJ's what?
You can't tell him to walk easy, and he never walked, and you never walked easy on him.
I think he froze out of abject fear.
Oh boy.
Of not wanting to say anything.
The Purdom ninjas came and got him.
Potentially incriminating.
You sent the henchmen out after him.
I said, walk easy, buddy, and I froze that crap. Yeah, he's got that horrible internet connection.
Not doing that today.
He's got horrible internet connection in San Diego, folks. That's why not only do we have the greatest internet connection, we also have the greatest zoo in Nebraska. Not sure if you guys are aware.
And no way for him to fight it. Well,
man.
if he's not coming back, do you have a story about him, or do we want to move on to the next question?
A story about Garrett? Let's go ahead and come back to it. I've got so many stories about Garrett that I can share.
All right, fine.
Including the time that he practically got raped by a dog and was bit and the ass. And that was true story, not making it up. And he was bleeding from his butt. And then, he's back, it looks like.
I need to know that story later on, but...
Yes, I'll gladly tell that story on the air, online, in a blog, in a vlog, on a train, on a plane. I'll tell it over and over again, and I'll make it better and better every time. Garrett, welcome back. We were not talking about you.
Okay, so the funny thing is, I could hear you guys the entire time.
See, we were getting ready to move on, man. That's how we're professionals.
No joke. I heard you getting ready to tell a story about when I got bit. So,
the dog's name was Teddy, and Teddy was a furry French poodle.
So here's the deal. No, what I was trying to say was the problem with JJ is that anytime anything funny happens to him, he tells the story himself. So I have no stories to tell because if anything crazy or stupid or dumb or funny, he tells himself.
That's
he
smart.
tells himself,
That's smart.
and it's way bigger and way funnier.
Okay.
So now, I got nothing. So that's it.
Right.
So that
I'll
we
tell
can go on to the next
a
question
funny
then.
story where Garrett, you don't actually know this, but where I was working with you, and I was headed back to Newman from the Patterson area, and I still had about half a day of work to go. And I have fake teeth. I lost my teeth around the age of 31. Had to have all of my teeth taken out. So I've got fake dentures and stuff like that. And at one point, I broke one of the teeth in my dentures, and I had to glue it back together. I had to glue it back in with this denture glue, right? So that worked for a couple of years. And one day I was going back to Newman. I'm in the van. I got like a 4-mile trip, or like a 10-mile trip, and I'm traveling. I've got like another handful of jobs to do, and I sneezed, and apparently the glue over the course of a couple of years had basically like worn off or whatever, and I sneezed the tooth out. The tooth like fell out and like flew out of my mouth, and I was like,
I can visualize it.
And I legitimately, I had a tooth missing right here in the front, and I'm looking all over the place. I pulled over, I'm crying, I'm looking on the floor. I'm like, no, this can't happen. I looked in the mirror. I'm not a vain person. I'm ugly. I go around looking like this all the time. But with one tooth missing there in the front, it was the worst redneck experience of my life. I'm like, I'm already a walking stereotype. So I have one tooth missing, and it's right in the front. And I'm looking around. I finally find I had been stepping on it. It had dirt and crap all over it, a little bit of dog crap. And so I'm like freaking out. I go home. I start cleaning the stuff off. I run to the store and get some stuff to like cement it back in. And I was like, I can't call my boss and tell him that I spit my tooth out of my mouth, and then I'm gluing the tooth back in, and I'm too vain to like go to any jobs with the tooth missing. And people are like desperate for pest control. It's like an emergency and all this crap. And I called my boss and I said, hey dude, I just shit myself in the car and I cannot go to work. I crap my pants. I went to
That's
fart.
a better
That was
excuse.
worse than telling him I lost a tooth?
Hey, my name is JJ, and I do stupid things sometimes. And I just like, what's the most embarrassing thing I get? I shit myself. I crapped in my pants.
I'd rather tell my hey boss, one of my fake teeth fell out. I have to go and get it fixed. I can't make it. I could have
totally done that. Why not? Why not? Because this truth will set you free, but sometimes a lie is a little funnier. And so he was so embarrassed. He's like, "Oh no, just go home. It's really cool.
No.
Go home, take a shower, whatever you gotta do. Yeah, no problem." Yeah. So
that is the definition of commit to the bit right there.
Oh my gosh.
Do it for the laughs.
Funny, JJ, you know what's funny is you saying that now, like I totally remember there was a day where I think like John, I think told me about that. He's like, dude, he's like I had to reschedule some jobs because he crapped himself and he was kind of chuckling about it, and I was like,
yeah, just so you know,
I can't be true, right? That can't be real. And then we had a good laugh, and I just kind of went on my day and did my thing. So I think
you didn't text him. You're like, hey, dude,
why did you mess with me?
I have some questions
because I'm not a jerk like you. You know,
I would have told you the truth. I'd have been like, dude, I spit my tooth out of my mouth. That's like, you know, like
that's really funny because I totally remember him like having a chuckle about it and telling me like, dude, like I'm giving you a couple of JJ's jobs because he crapped himself.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, that's even better.
Hey, do you want to tell a story real quick about how you got raped that one? Never mind. Go ahead. Whatever you want to do.
Apparently by a dog.
By the dog that raped you, Teddy the French poodle.
Let's talk about a video game that would be a fun crossover into a board game. That's Sir Princelot's next question. What's a video game you would love to play a board game version of?
Final Fantasy Tactics. Done. Next question.
Ooh, okay. I feel like that's the right answer. Like there's no other answer that would be good other than
Advance Wars.
Okay. Anything else?
I keep going.
Okay, no, that's fine. I think that's good. I honestly didn't really have any other answer. Like I couldn't really I know they've made I know there's like a Bloodborne game and like that looked cool. Like the minis in there look cool, but I like how does that actually work? So I know there's a Horizon Zero Dawn game. Again, like the stuff in it looked cool, but I was like, it would actually be fun? I don't know. It just seems like it'd be kind of weird. But the ones you mentioned are perfect. That would be the best board game ever, probably. This next question from Kajoma. What is your biggest technological weakness? Like, what should you know how to do, but you don't? For example, I should know how to use Excel, but I don't. So, JJ, you're just going to say all of it, right?
Everything.
We'll let you headline this one, big fella. Go ahead.
Look. JJ can't even turn his computer on. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us some stories.
When I was in high school, we didn't have computer class. That happened right as I was getting out of high school. We had typewriter class, and we would have a paper over our fingers learning home keys, and they would tape the paper, and you would like have so you couldn't see what you were doing. And I would be the guy who was funny and could get away with a lot of stuff. So like I would make the teacher laugh, and he would walk away, and then I would just be lifting the paper and cheating. I never learned how to type. I'm horrible at turning computers on, doing any of that kind of stuff. Then when I came to work for the state, they asked me a lot of questions like, hey, do you know how to use it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm proficient in Word and Excel and Word and Outlook.
Those things you don't even know what they are.
Dude, I have none. I'm like, but what if they ask me questions? And I'm like, yeah, they want to ask you questions. And so, no, you know what? I've learned a whole lot, but honestly, I am not technologically advanced. I have a hard time finding out how to record this podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised I'm able to get the thing on. And a lot of times you guys have to like kind of talk me through it.
But you make it.
Right? So, and I would say I make it pretty well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I am supposed to be able to do a lot of stuff. I sometimes will have to, hey, you got to go and download this image off the email and then drag it over and drop it into document imaging because somebody sends you a pay stub of the last month of pay. And I'm like, I don't really know how to do that. So it's a lot of grabbing and dropping it. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I just keep expecting one day somebody's going to come in with like a cardboard box and say, go ahead and put your belongings in here.
It's time.
We're going to exit you. We're going to escort you to the door. You know, and I'm like, I don't have anything. I have like 2 old tea bags and that pencil. That's not even like.
You don't even have a picture of your family or anything?
No. I don't know. And you know what's weird is everybody else does.
I get it. I don't.
Pack
light.
And one of the other ladies. One of the other ladies has like several pictures of like her kids and stuff. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, she's like, don't you have kids? And I'm like, yeah, I have 3 kids. And she's like, why don't you have any pictures? And I'm like, oh, they're really ugly kids. They're like disgusting. Like, honestly, like my son's eye is like at a weird spot. And like, honestly, I would be looking at it all day and have a hard time staring at the screen. You know what I mean? Like, he's got like his eye is like higher than the other one. Oh man! You know, it's like she like looked at me.
I love them. I love them.
Oh my gosh! I'm like, I love them very much. They're wonderful. They're beautiful on the inside, and that's what counts. No, I'm. No, I just figure I'm not going to be here long, so I set up shop. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
I don't know. I guess I would say maybe my familiarity with newer versions of Windows, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense,
Okay.
but like the last version of Windows that I used was probably mainly daily driver was probably XP. So like anything after that is, I know the basics of a Windows machine, but I've used Mac OS for the last 10, 12 years. So
Oh wow.
I'm not as strong in Windows as I am in other places. So I think that would probably be it. Like I if you put a PC in front of me, I can get around because the language hasn't changed all that much between versions, but I'm not as familiar with the new ones as I am with Mac OS. So it's probably where I'm my weakest
Okay.
at.
Interesting. Yeah, I used Mac OS for a long time, and then I only switched to using a PC. Yeah,
For
this a couple of
games.
years ago now. Yeah, for gaming, and I feel like I settled into it pretty quick because my last driver was probably XP as well, and then I went to my MacBook Pro that I had for forever until it doesn't load. It can't load anything. It barely turns on now. Still have it though for some reason because I can't bear to get rid of it. My biggest weakness would be I don't know. Like I feel like I have a lot of like I don't know if they're weaknesses, but blind spots. And and they're not big. I feel like there's I have a general knowledge of a lot of things, can figure a lot of things out, but then there's like little tidbit details here and there. Just like I know how to do this, I don't know how it works, like stuff like that. Like I don't understand this little system over here. Like I can make it work by doing this over here, but
I
this
thought you were
over
talking
there.
about sex for a second, Garrett. I got so confused. I totally thought you were talking about sex. I'm so sorry. I got confused for a second. Because we've had that discussion before where you kind of you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, you're doing fine. Just,
Just keep going.
The biggest thing I would like to actually learn how to do that I should know how to do is use After Effects though, like Adobe After Effects. That's something I should know with what I've been doing with the podcast, and I've used it a couple times. Like even the intro for Super Gamer Book Club is made in After Effects. But again, that was. I didn't make that from scratch. That was a lot of pre-built stuff smashed together and tutorials and templates and just to make it work. Because I was like, I don't understand how the software works, so I'm going to take all these pieces of things that do work and smash it together,
Right,
and come out with something good. So that was only 10% my own work, to be completely honest. So it's After Effects is where I'd like to grow more. That's for sure.
Okay.
Last question here. This is from Sweats. We didn't get a question from him in the last episode. I don't know what to deal with. He was
Got worried about him.
But it says this one might take some research, which we all did. I told everyone about it before the show. The original Borderlands teaser trailer compared to the Borderlands we got. Which do you wish to experience? The one we have or the less cartoony one that never came to be? So for those of you who don't know, back in 2009 in E3, before Borderlands came out, they put out a teaser trailer at E3 during one of the conferences, and let me tell you, it looks absolutely nothing like the Borderlands we got. Even the story is vaguely there with the vault and stuff like that, vault hunters. But let me tell you, it was a very serious and very going for that photorealistic look, less so than the cartoony, comic booky, hand-drawn style kind of thing, cartoony style, and then with just way more humor, obviously, in the one that we got, goofy, stupid humor. So I'll just answer first real quick. I prefer the one we got. I wouldn't have played the original one, I don't think. Is a little too, at that time, there was a lot of games that were just like that. Even this down to the color tone of the trailer too, the kind of sepia tone that was going on there. I'm it reminds me of it reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4, the color tone that it had. I was just it looks like they used whatever video filter, that they used for Metal Gear Solid 4. That's what they used for all the PlayStation 3 games. You look at any PS3 game or anything PS3 360 era, they all kind of have the same look to them. So I probably would not have enjoyed the Borderlands that was shown in the trailer there.
I think that the look looked really cool, but as far as you can't really take away Borderlands, dude. Borderlands, the way that we got it was fantastic. I liked the aesthetic that it had.
Yeah.
And I think that if you would have changed up 1 and had it be more like the original reveal trailer, it would have screwed up 2 and 3 too. You know what I mean? Like it probably would have went in that direction, and that'd be a travesty of justice. So, and I
probably would have never got a 2 or 3 because it would have flopped.
Yeah, I think that what we got was exactly what we needed to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it stood out. It actually got people's attention because it was different. It was very, very different.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I mean, we already had 2009, so Gears was already in full motion. I think they probably just announced Killzone 2 not too long ago. Like you were saying, Garrett, we had
Killzone,
MGS4, and those all had similar tones and similar looks, and it's kind of like, why would in these 3 juggernauts, why would you, who I don't think Gearbox was nearly as big as they are, or nearly as well known as they are now, why would you want to make something that's just like everybody else when everybody else is already doing it and in their own way executing well? It seemed like a suicide mission. So I'm glad they made that pivot and was like, actually, let's do something way different. So
yeah, it was good. It was a good change because these games are fantastic. 1, 2, 3, the pre-sequel, so good. Cool. Well, that's it for questions this week. Now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy news.
I missed that.
So good. So good. All right. This first news story. It's a little bit older one. We were supposed to do it last week when we didn't have an episode. And I just wanted to touch on it because we got that was around the time we got the trailer. We got the new Xbox One or Xbox Series X special edition revealed, the new controller special edition
sick.
revealed.
We didn't talk about that either.
Yeah. Gorgeous console, gorgeous controllers. They'll never see the light of day. They'll go straight to a scalper's warehouse.
To a basement or on a collector's shelf to never be used.
Yeah. Yeah. Sad. Because I would have loved both of them. They were beautiful. I'm not even like a huge Halo fan. But that's just how cool they looked. Like I like Halo.
They
but
nailed that.
Those just looked so cool. 343 Industries explains why we haven't seen Halo Infinite campaign gameplay since last year. So one noteworthy absence from Gamescom's opening night live show was any gameplay footage of Halo Infinite's campaign. Instead, we got a fancy cinematic introduction of the game's first season, multiplayer season, that is. That was a little editorializing for me because nowhere on the internet did they just kept saying the first season. I guess I just assume everyone knows they're talking about multiplayer, but I'm an idiot, and at first I didn't. I'm like, first season of what? What are they talking about? Along with the leaked December 8th release date, which, real quick, are they actually hitting December 8th?
No. Well, multiplayer might hit December 8th.
I think, I could see multiplayer come out December 8th. I don't see campaign coming out then. That seems a little overambitious. Nope. But in a post on 343's Inside Infinite blog, lead writer Joseph Staten explained that the team is currently in shutdown mode as they polish the game for final release. Shutdown mode means that we're done with feature work and focus on crushing high-priority bugs. We're spending lots of time playing the game, verifying fixes, and generally doing all we can to ensure campaign and multiplayer plays great on all platforms, from an original 8-year-old Xbox One to a brand-new ultra-spec PC. This is a very, very challenging task, even for a large and experienced team. Crucially, this also means that developers can't be exposed to outside interference. We're at a critical phase in the flight that is Halo Infinite, so it's extremely important to avoid distractions and stay focused on mission-critical tasks only, Staten continued. For campaign, that means putting maximum effort into ensuring the wide-open, adventure-filled experience you'll all get to play on December 8th is as great as it possibly can be. And gameplay demos and trailers not only take a huge amount of effort to do well, they also take cycles away from bugs and other shutdown tasks. So, his big thing is the reason you haven't seen anything about the campaign is because we're working so hard in the game. We don't have time to slow down and show you anything more about it. But
you guys want to take this one? Because if I say something, it's not going to be nice.
Okay. What Adrian means to say is that they are very behind on this game, and it's probably getting delayed, and they've had way too many developmental issues with putting this game together, and they're panicking. That's what it is. At this point, they're kind of freaking out and like, we're not going to be ready for December 8th. That's a nice way to maybe put what Adrian's going to say. That's what I think is going on over there. I think it's like just all hands on deck, red lights flashing, like a second like the clock, like the time clock starts in the morning. It's like, wah, wah, red alert, we're behind schedule. Trying to stay
wouldn't
up.
be shocked at all if it doesn't come out December 8th, but I will be very shocked if the multiplayer doesn't drop. I think that they're at one of those crucial points where they need to do something. So I think that the multiplayer dropping would be at least something on December.
That's definitely coming one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Now that you put a date out there, you have to have something because you pushed it back and you pushed it back. Something.
Yeah. And the multiplayer is pretty, at least with the flight that I did, it's pretty, feels dialed in. Like the biggest thing is obviously getting maps together and stuff, but it felt really good. And I played that, a month ago. So, I mean, if it's the multiplayer is that good at this point, I think they're set for December for at least that. But yeah, I would not be surprised if we get the announcement, like, hey, a little letter, hat in hand, kind of coming to you like, okay, guys, well, here's the deal. Kind of stuttering over themselves.
You played the beta on your PC, right?
Yes, he played the beta.
How do you think it's going to look on the consoles, though? On the S and the X?
It's going to look gorgeous. I mean, I think Nate played on the console. Maybe? Or no, did he play on PC? I don't remember now. He played on, I want to say he played on console, or at least he talked to someone who did. Because I remember him talking about, like, it looks amazing on there. I thought it looked gorgeous on the PC. He was like, it looks gorgeous on the One X. Or not One X, the Series X.
I'm sure there was somebody playing on the One X.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're making it for everything from the 1 to the 1S, 1X.
Yeah, which is a dumb decision too, but don't get me started on that.
Yeah, so I'm not so sure about all this, but I don't know. We'll just have to sit here and wait and see, and I wouldn't be surprised if, I mean, last time, they delayed the game just 2 weeks before it was supposed to come out?
Yeah, last year.
Do you think it's like halfway through November we're going to get a letter like 2 weeks before it's supposed to come out again? Or do you think they're a little more preemptive this time? Do you think they're going to be a little more preemptive and like a month ahead be like, okay, no, guys, we're not.
I think they know now. I think they're just waiting until everybody kind of eases back into it to then drop the bomb.
Riots yet.
But I feel like you should drop it now, because if you drop it right before release date, when everybody's pre-orders are locked in, you're gonna lose a lot.
That's the other thing. Pre-orders also went live. So after this announcement, I think it was the next week. Like anyone can pre-order the game now, which is bizarre. So you better have something. Ridiculous. I don't know. Anyone have anything else to add on this?
Nope.
Okay.
We'll see.
That's what I figured.
I mean, I'm pulling for him to do it, but I don't know. It ain't likely.
Yeah, they're just sad. It's sad, really, because they have this incredible IP that is the Halo series, and they're just having such a hard time with something that should be so simple. Like, they've done it 5 other times before. What's going on this time? I mean, 343 hasn't, but
no, they haven't. Clearly,
but developers have done it 5 other times before. They've done what, twice now?
Yeah,
3 times. I don't know how many games they've done, 2 or 3, but yeah,
still can't get the hang of it.
Craziness. This next news story: Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad game will be shown at DC FanDome. In June of last year, Warner Bros. Unveiled a brand new all-digital event called DC FanDome. We got to look at the Batman concept art for The Flash, featuring Michael Keaton, and a look at 2 new upcoming games. Now, over a year later, FanDome is back, and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights will be shown off once more. You can catch DC's second FanDome event on October 16th, my birthday, with WB Games Montreal and Rocksteady in attendance, developers of Arkham Origins and Knight respectively. This was unveiled in a brand new trailer that promised more on Black Adam, Peacemaker, Supergirl, Batwoman, Titans, Superman, and Lois, the Batman and Fortnite crossover, and so much more. Gotham Knights was initially said to be launching sometime this year, but it has now been pushed back to 2022. It's a co-op game featuring members of the Bat family, particularly Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood. The story surrounds Batman's mysterious death, with the four heroes journeying to take on the Court of Owls. Whether the threads tie together remains to be seen. And the Suicide Squad game similarly is co-op, only you play as a ragtag team of evildoers being commanded by Amanda Waller and to take on a sinister Superman who has gone rogue. Gotham Knights isn't in the Arkhamverse, but Suicide Squad is. Here the team is made up of Deadshot, Harley Quinn, King Shark, and Boomerang, three of whom made an appearance in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad movie. So we obviously didn't get any new information other than we're getting information, but I just feel like I haven't heard we haven't heard anything over the last year, basically since that last event.
Nothing. It's been radio silent.
Guys, are you guys? Is there any hype level at all from you guys, or is this kind of like, oh, I totally forgot that was happening? I kind of don't really care, you know.
I'm looking forward to both of these. I'm way more stoked for Suicide Squad than Justice League, or not Justice League. What do they call it? Yeah, Gotham Knights. But yeah, it's been kind of odd that we haven't heard anything in over a year. So hopefully development is at least going. I know it's not going the smoothest as it could.
Right. I mean, if it's been delayed, then yeah.
Yeah.
Forgive me, is Gotham Knights being done by Rocksteady?
No, it's Warner Bros. Montreal, I believe.
Yep.
Rocksteady is doing the Suicide Squad one.
Arkham. Mm-hmm. So W Montreal is the one who did Arkham Origins. So that's the one who's doing Gotham Knights.
That's the What If game.
I would be very interested in seeing the Suicide Squad game with Rocksteady because I think they did a great job with Batman.
Yeah, all two of them.
Yeah. So.
I just love how you just will not admit that there's that Arkham Knights was even a thing.
Arkham Knight?
No, there was Arkham. They did Arkham Asylum, and then they did Arkham City, and it was a wonderful duology.
But there was Arkham Knight as well.
It was a wonderful duology.
Okay.
Don't question it, JJ. Don't question it.
No, I'm not going to. No, but here's the deal. I don't know how much you've actually covered it on the show. Because I have a horrible memory. I smoked a lot of weed back in the day. I actually really don't like Arkham Knight. I'm not a fan of it. I don't think that it's as good as Arkham City and Arkham Asylum.
What was that, like a comic book?
It might
like a one shot? Like a side story?
Was
it a short film?
There was a fourth game too, wasn't there? That was put out by somebody else.
Arkham Origins was put out by WB Montreal.
Never heard of it.
But it
it wasn't.
It's not canon though, right?
I don't know. This is news to me.
Oh, okay. So this came out before.
Are you pulling my leg right now? You've never heard of Arkham Origins?
No, I don't think he actually heard of it.
I look. Rocksteady made Arkham Asylum and they made Arkham City. Okay. That's all I know.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Moving on here. Adrian's.
That's all I know.
Adrian's messing with us.
Like, could you imagine like if they made a game where you had to be in the Batmobile 90% of the time? Wouldn't that be a terrible idea? Thank God they never made a game like that.
And that's why I hated that game.
All right, so look forward to October 16th when you can celebrate my birthday and find out more about these two wonderful games. Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
See, am I the only one who's not excited by Gotham Knights at all?
I'm not excited about either. I'm gonna be honest, because I really enjoyed Arkham Asylum. I actually never beat Arkham City.
That's okay. There's still time. There's time every day.
Still time.
It's a great game.
And so I don't know. Is this one of those things where when they announced Gotham Knights, I'm like, it looks cool, but I wasn't super stoked about it. And Suicide Squad, I don't know. I haven't seen the new movie yet, and now it's off HBO Max, so I'm kind of bummed because now I got to pay to watch it because it was free before.
You goofed.
I goofed. But I don't. So my only experience with Suicide Squad is the first movie, which was not good. So I'm like, I don't really want to play this game. It doesn't.
The movies are night and day, dude. If you watch the new one, you'll be like, okay, I see the merit in what the game could be.
Okay, yeah, I might need to give that new movie a try. But either way, like, I'm not stoked about this either. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what they announce. But at this point, I'm like, maybe if it comes to Game Pass, I'll play it. That's kind of how I feel at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think of the two, I'm definitely more excited for Suicide Squad. But that doesn't mean I'm not checking for. I hope Gotham Knights does well because I'm looking for another game to be able to play with people. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah.
Well, they're both co-op technically, which is kind of neat.
Rocksteady games, I don't normally play multiplayer, but we'll see.
Okay. Even if someone's driving you around the Batmobile.
Like I said, man, I'm glad that like that script got.
What if it's a crazy taxi game, but you just drive the Batmobile, like an Uber game? You're just driving, like, delivering
that actually might be pretty fun.
And the Batmobile. It's in the world of Arkham Knight, but it's crazy.
That might be pretty fun, actually. Like you got to pick up Commissioner Gordon and take him to the GCPD or something like that. Might be you might be onto something there, Morlang.
Oh man!
But it has to look and feel like Crazy Taxi. So it's got to have those arcade 1999 graphics.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That'd be, oh my gosh, that'd be so hilarious.
That would be awesome.
Have like boss
that would be
battles,
so
but it's
cool.
just like car races, you're just racing against the villains and their crazy kooky carts,
Right. Or like they strap a bomb to your car, you got to get somewhere to get it diffused. See, this man.
Gold, pure gold. WB Montreal, hit us up. Rocksteady,
Rocksteady hit us up. Yeah, please, thank you. Thank you very much.
Please, thank you. Next news story. Dead Space reboot shows off its super precise alien carving technology. Never once in a live stream did I think I'd hear the word carve and carving so many times in my life. It was kind of like, okay, I think I'm going to throw up if you say carve one more time.
Just think of Thanksgiving.
Think of Thanksgiving. But the whole time they're showing, so here's the deal. If you didn't watch it, they're like in this very, very, very early beta or even alpha version of like just a test dummy room where they have like this little guy up, one of the necromorphs or whatever they call him. And
it looks awesome.
It looks amazing. And he just keeps like, like shooting guns at it and like skins peeling off and bones are snapping and guts are flying. And it's pretty insane. Everyone needs to go watch it if you love Dead Space. And
I can't wait.
Carving things. Electronic Arts finally confirmed in July that a Dead Space remake is in the works. A sci-fi horror do-over is being developed by EA Motive. It will be completely rebuilt from the ground up with enhanced graphics and a story that will closely but not completely follow the original. Today we got a bit of a closer look at what the studio has in mind and how things are going. And while it's still very early in development process, they're very clear about that. They're like, it's early. Like, don't think this is anything,
Take your time.
It still looks pretty promising, though. It's pretty amazing. The core combat mechanic in Dead Space can be described as cut off their limbs, which is so central to the game that someone wrote it on the wall in blood. The reboot will lean into that aspect of gameplay even more with a new body destruction system that will enable players to carve and cook enemies in super precise ways. The body destruction technology that we're developing that is allowing us to really remove the flesh off the bones of the enemy and to give you a good sense not only of gore, but also how much damage am I doing to the opponent. Creative director Roman Campos Oriola said, "Is my weapon actually useful against this one? How close is it to dying?" That's something that, to me, is really interesting. It's all immediately recognizable as Dead Space, but it's been 13 years since the release of the original. So, of course, the visual quality has come a long way. I'm not sure pretty is the right word for it, but even at this very early stage, there's no question and no surprise, really, that the visual fidelity is dramatically improved. So that's the biggest thing that blew me away is like they had it like rendering live in engine, like he was controlling it right there. And honestly, when it first popped up, I'm like, oh, that looks really good. Like I thought that. I'm like, oh, it looks really good. Oh, wow, that's cool. And then when I saw a side by side, I was like, oh, man, that is gorgeous. Like, honestly, what they showed is like one of those like kind of like what you remember it looking like and what it really looks like. Like when I looked at like when they were showing it off, I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good, yeah. And I just played it a few months ago because it was one of the last book clubs that Zetch did before he died. He passed away. Rest in peace, Zetch. I don't remember it looking that bad, but when they did the side by side, I'm like, okay, that's looks not fair really
though. It was
good.
State of the art at the time.
Oh no, yeah, no, 100%. I just told a buddy the other day. He's like, oh, I'm gonna wait for the remake. I'm not gonna play the original. I'm like, Dude, the original holds up. Like, honestly, it really holds up. And according to the thing, it's going to be a little bit different story. It'll stay close, but as I told him, I was like, I think you could totally play the original and still really
even
enjoy
just
the
for
remake.
a basis of how everything went in the original, so you could see the deviations.
Exactly. Yeah. But Motive also offered some insight into its approach to Dead Space lead character Isaac Clarke, saying that there are 2 rules for his dialogue, which is interesting because in the original game, he didn't really have much of any dialogue. I don't think he really had any. He will primarily only speak when spoken to, but will also sometimes speak in situations where it would seem weird if he didn't say something. And as a nice callback to the original games, Motive is bringing back voice actor Gunnar Wright, who voiced Clarke in Dead Space 2 and 3, to reprise the role in the remake. So that's kind of cool. They are bringing back the original voice actor from 2 and 3, because he didn't talk at all in 1, but in 2 and 3 he does. There's not much more to the article here, but it's exciting. Seeing this stuff is really exciting, and I guess watching this too, like this isn't directly related to Dead Space, but just industry as a whole. I wish more companies would do stuff like this, honestly. Like
what, just like remaster their old stuff or not remaster, but basically
reboot? No. Show off like how the development is going. Like I loved how like they were able to share this and be extremely clear, like this is a deal, this is very early, this is alpha, this is like pre-alpha, this is, we're still test pictures and test rooms and stuff like that.
Well, that was supposed to be the whole point with Steam, right?
And this was received so well. Like to do this presentation, show people, and it got people hyped, and now people understand, like, okay, where are they at in development? Because so many games nowadays, like the games industry is so secretive. And it's just like they shut down, we're developing. You won't know anything until you get a trailer like 6 months before release or something like that. You get a little teaser trailer. And yeah, I mean, that's good and fine for some things, but there's some properties where it's like like Halo. Like at this point, it's like we need to see something for you to prove to us that something's working. Like if they from the beginning, from the get-go, if we got like developer diaries kind of thing, like every like few months, like, hey, this is where we're at. Hey, this is something that we worked on 6 months ago. Pretty cool, huh? Like this, I didn't see one person negatively respond to this. Everyone is like, this was fantastic. This is awesome. This is fun. I'm hyped for the game. Yeah, I understand.
Because we know where it's at.
I understand it's early and that it could look completely different in the end, but this got people hyped and it was communicating with the consumers. And I guess that's the point I want to get across is I wish more developers did this. Like I thought it was smart.
I think that's like a really interesting way to look at it. Like that they kind of are pulling the curtain back and letting you see how the things are being developed and changed up. I love the side-by-side comparison. I really like that Halo, like when with the first few, when they started coming out on the Xbox One and everything, you had the ability to toggle back and forth and play it how it was originally intended, and then the updated remastered version.
That was so cool.
Like, it's freaking awesome because it's really like you're able to go like, whoa, it's come so far. I know that these are big games and everything else, and they're going to be adding stuff to it. But I'd really like to see on these newer consoles, the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, I'd like to see them have the old games tacked on. I realize that they're not huge in the PS3 era. They're really not compared to like how the games are now, the 100-hour Red Dead Redemption 2s and stuff. So I think it'd be really cool to have some of those games like, okay, here's the new updated version, but hey, if you'd like, you can also go back and play the PS3 version and kind of see how far it's come and see if there's any difference in the story and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening because PS3 and 360 games topped out at about maybe 8 gigabytes, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and games today some are over 200, so 8 shouldn't be that
Metal Gear
much.
Solid 4, that was pretty hefty. I like maxed out the original PS3, didn't the original one was like 60 gig and it almost filled it up, right?
But I'm saying on average that was probably what they was about 7 to 8 gigabytes because you only had the space of a DVD and you had to cram it in there.
That's true. Well, yeah, Blu-ray with the PlayStation, but yeah, you're right. DVDs with 360.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I obviously we think this game looks great. So that's why I didn't necessarily want to talk more about Dead Space because we already know we all are excited about this. It looks gorgeous. But yeah, almost more like I wanted. Yeah, my point there was like I wish more developers would do this. I wish like Halo was doing this. I wish like Cyberpunk had done this leading up to it. And because like if they could have gotten some more fan response like a year beforehand, being like, oh, okay, yeah, that's looking fine. This is okay, or like and see what they okay. What do we need to focus on? I wonder if Cyberpunk would have been a different story if there had been a little more, I mean, and they did. To their credit, they did, but it was very, I don't know. I guess it doesn't work in every instance because you know what? Cyberpunk did, but they just showed what what they wanted to show you. They just lied to us.
So it wasn't it wasn't a true diary.
Yeah. So if everyone could just stop lying, be truthful, be cool, and just show us what's really happened, it'd be great. Just tell the truth.
How long do you need?
Yeah, it's not that hard.
We need to find out how long you actually need, and we need for shareholders in these games to understand that they take time and that you will get a return on your investment if you just let it cook.
Yeah. I think that's where it comes down to is like you're saying. I think it just comes down to the investors, to the shareholders, that people are just hounding them and saying like we have to get this game, and they're making it to where some of these developers are having to cut off their originality and their creativeness by saying, okay, we got to cram this crap together. We just got to like kind of dust it up and get it put together and out there. I like that we had a couple of games like Red Dead Redemption 2 that like we were told is going to come out, hey, it's coming out whenever, and it gets pushed back a little bit because it's like, hey, you know what? We're not going to forego what we want the game to be.
Yeah, no, Rockstar is exempt. People know that. If you're a shareholder in Rockstar, that's kind of like part of the deal, which I think a lot of companies should start to go after is like, our games make money, right? If you invest in us, we make GTA, right? It's going to print money. Yeah, so you're going to get a return on your investment. Just give us the time and we got you, right?
Isn't that great about Rockstar is that like, their games continue to make money for years. Red Dead is still making money online and with people playing it. I know people who go on and play their challenges every single day. And I'm like, man, that's dedication. That's dedication.
Yeah. But if the game's good enough, insane. People will do it.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, just make good games, developers. That's all we ask.
Make good games and take your time.
That's all. And take your time. It's fine. I can wait.
And don't lie about your single player being ready to go when it's clearly not.
I have such a big backlog. I'm fine if you wait.
Oh, dude, thousands of hours, games I'll never play.
Yeah,
and it's not because I don't like them, but I
no time.
No time.
I sleep 8 hours. I work 8 hours. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, right. This last news story comes from Eurogamer. Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles headed to Nintendo Switch Online. I love how definitive this is because at this point it's still a rumor. But let's get into it. Nintendo is set to add Game Boy. Old Tom Phillips here, the news editor over at Eurogamer, he's talking like this is all but confirmed, basically.
Yeah, people have done that before and got burned.
Yeah, Nintendo is set to add Game Boy and Game Boy Color games titles to Nintendo Switch Online. I can't freaking talk. Eurogamer sources have confirmed word that Nintendo will bulk up its Switch Online back catalog first broke earlier this week via the Nate the Hate podcast, which discussed various possible handheld games Nintendo could bring to the Switch subscription offering. Nintendo Life sources then offered their own confirmation. Now Eurogamer has been able to separately corroborate these reports, and we have heard that other retro platforms are also in the cards. Nintendo Switch's Online's classic game library currently includes around 80 NES games, 50 SNES games. It's fair to say that many, if not nearly all of these platforms' biggest games are now available via the service. The fans are keen for something fresh. This month is the third anniversary of the Nintendo Switch Online service, which originally launched in September 2018, offering a selection of NES titles. SNES games began trickling out from September 2019, and a data mine of the NES Switch app back in January 2019 tipped to the addition of the SNES titles to the service before Nintendo made the announcement official. At the time, the data mine also pointed to a couple other emulators hiding in the code, ready for Nintendo to add further platforms down the line. So, Adrian, it is they pretty much have been on schedule every September giving us a new console. It's about that time. Do you think this is legit though? Is it actually going to be Game Boy or is it something else, or is it nothing?
I'm not going to say it's not possible, right? Like you said, we have a track record. However, this is the same Nintendo that worked with HAL Laboratory to make Smash Brothers. And I don't know if you know this story, but because people found out that there was going to be a story mode in one of the Smash games, the director, Masahiro Sakurai, was like, nope, now I'm not doing it. You guys leaked it, now I'm not doing it. So
it's like Nintendo when people found out about the Legend of Zelda Netflix show and they canned it because
they're like, nope,
spoiled it.
Somebody, exactly. So we're dealing with this same company. So
bunch of children over there, really.
Right. So it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, no, I don't want to play anymore. But we do have a track record, so there's definitely evidence there. But like I said, we're dealing with this kind of company, so who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've also heard the rumors about like that the Nintendo 64 mini
where's
classic
that at?
That was guaranteed. Here's the list. And like
we got shipping documents. We saw schematics of it.
Oh, yeah.
We talked to some people at a company. They said that they're getting ready to make some molds and models of it. And here we are, what, 2+ years later? When was the SNES? Like 3 years ago now? Yeah. And we have not seen hide nor hair of an N64. So
yeah, nothing.
Because it ain't happening.
You gotta, with Nintendo, you just can't, you don't believe anything until they say it. And I can't believe that people at this point still haven't learned that after everybody got burned by the Switch Pro, which we now know as the OLED. You would kind of think, okay, let's step back. You're right, it is September. If they say something, they say it. If not, we keep going. But people got to eat, so give me them clicks.
Dude, I'm really excited to see what comes out. What kind of games would you want? Like, what kind of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games would you want?
I think we were talking about this before the show, but I said that there's no way on this green earth that they don't bring Pokemon, at least Red and Blue. There's no way when millions of people think Game Boy, that's what they think. They think probably three things. They think Tetris, so you have to have Tetris. They think 100%. Pokemon, so you have to have Pokemon.
Dr. Mario.
I was gonna say Mario World or Mario Land.
I think they have both Super Mario Land and Dr. Mario. They have to have both.
They had both, right? But I'm saying like the big things that you think about when you think Game Boy is those tentpole titles. Like there's no way. It's Garrett.
I think
you remember the news stories and the articles in the late 90s, early 2000s about Pokemania? Like it was so big. Oh, no. They had a name for it. There's no way you bring out this console and you don't bring out what is widely considered the biggest game to ever hit it.
I think the only way it would work though, and would be they would have to take features away from their emulators. So like currently on the NES and SNES Classic, you can do save states, which basically means you can save the game whenever you want. So like you could be like mid jump on with Mario, like Rah! And like pause the game, save state, and the next time you load from that state, you'll be mid jump and you'll just like continue on from that point. What I brought up to you is like, okay, so I do a save state and then we link our switches, we do a trade, I give you my super hyper rare Pokemon, a Mewtwo or something like that, whatever. I don't know what we're talking about, like depending on what game they put on there.
Oh, they'll disable it.
And then I just load back to the state where I have it. So you have one and now I have mine again. They have to disable it. It's the only way this works.
No, they'll disable it. They'll make and it'll probably be it's common sense, but B, it'll probably be a mandate from the Pokemon company because they already don't let you upload your cloud saves for something as new as Sword or Shield or Let's Go because of fear of cheating, which people got around, by the way. But that's probably going to be the mandate. They're like, look, if you want this on there, we got to make sure that nobody is just handing out Mewtwo's so that, you know, everybody who plays this game starts off with a Mewtwo. It doesn't work like that.
Oh man. Yeah, and I just wonder too, like with if it's like, if that's going to be like a system-wide thing, like no Game Boy games can use it, or if it's just, specifically Pokemon. Sorry, save states don't work with this title. Like, I wonder if
I think it's just got to be specifically Pokemon.
Yeah, but that's the only way it would work. I hope there's Pokemon on there. If they bring Game Boy games and they don't, like, what's the point at that point?
What's the point?
But, yeah.
You should have just went straight to Advance.
Oh, dude. I can't. I would love that.
I could talk about it all day. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, I think Super Mario Land is my favorite Game Boy game.
See?
And so I would think that would be kind of cool on the Switch.
That's what I'm saying. So that, Tetris, and Pokemon.
On the OLED?
Have to have.
On the new OLED Switch?
You have to have Tetris.
Playing Game Boy Color on an OLED? Holy cow, it'd be insane. Oh, man, nothing better. All right, well, that's the end of the news stories. So now it's time for Adrian's Super Indie Boys.
Hey, that's right. I'm going to keep it light today. I only got a couple of things for y'all. Ooh, excuse me. Let me go and grab them. I got them in my document. Give me just a second. You would think I'd have been prepared for this.
Something, ready for.
But this is how I live.
But just on the edge. Always
it's crunch time.
Oh man, there's so many good Game Boy games out there. I was just thinking about Game Boy. That's all. Yeah, I played like Tetris and Dr. Mario.
Is that when you guys played on Kirby's
I
Dream
think
Land?
Was that Game Boy or was that NES?
No, it was Game Boy.
Oh.
I know there was a Kirby.
I get them confused.
There was so many Kirby games, but
Dreamland was Game Boy, yeah. You were right. Wow. That was a first.
I'm never right.
Kajoma. You got to put that up there. All right. No, I only got two for you today.
Okay.
So the first one, I've been in a roguelike mood ever since we played Hades. So I've been looking for a new one to scratch the itch. And I saw Andy from Kinda Funny playing this one. And it looks pretty sick. It's called Dreamscaper. And it is a roguelite as well. But it's how should I put it? It's got a ton of different aspects to it. It's got beautiful art. It's kind of hard to say, it's kind of like Hades, but it's not. It's its own thing. I know I'm doing a terrible job to sell it, and I would have been prepared with a trailer, but trust me, go watch the trailer and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it seems like you only get your powers when you go into when you fall asleep and go into your dream, and that's when your dreams are like the dungeons, basically.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So every time you fall asleep, you start to dream, and the dream is the dungeon. And of course, nobody ever has the same dream. So the dreams change every time, just like a dungeon would change.
You've never been.
You have powers, and you upgrade, and you change your abilities, and you get different loadouts and kits like that. So that's definitely one to watch, or not one to watch. It's out. I believe it just came out like maybe less than a month ago. So that's one to pick up. Dreamscaper.
Yes, it is out on Nintendo Switch and Microsoft Windows. Came out August 13th, so just about a month ago.
Yep. And then the second one I have is, if you are a Stardew Valley / Harvest Moon fan, this is for you. It's called Gleaner Heights. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
No.
It's Stardew Valley if it was mixed in with like Seinfeld, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I don't like the writing and the relationships and the situations are like based on 90s television. Okay. Right? So your Seinfelds, anything that was popular in the 90s, you would see tropes of it in this game. So take that element, take the farming element,
fantastic,
and take this element and take this writing and this situation in there and mash them together.
That sounds
that
amazing.
one is on that one is on Switch as well. It's only $10. Trust me on this one. Check it out.
Jeez, that's awesome. Gleaner Heights, Switch, Microsoft Windows, Linux, and Xbox One. Came out in 2018, so it's been a couple years.
It's been out a little bit, but I just recently came across it. So
this YouTube video here is titled "Gleaner Heights: A Sinister Stardew Valley." Interesting.
So yeah, that's
now
why
I check it out.
Sweet. So yeah, both of those, go check them out. They both rule.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adrian, for that little Super Indie Boys IRL. And all right, well, now it is time for our Patreon ad. This is a part of the show where I sell you on our Patreon. You should go support us over there. Patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. You can support us for just $1 a month. And you get our episodes early and ad-free, so you don't have to listen to this part. You don't get the ads at the front and back. We talked earlier about Super Gamer Book Club going to the public. That's going to have Patreon ads front and back. So if you want to skip those, you have to support us. You can listen to it 2 months early and with none of them ads. So just remember, like I said, $1 a month is awesome. You get other perks though. $5 a month, you get our show notes early. $10 a month, you get the shout out on the show. $15 a month, you're a Patreon producer. You can be our boss or chauffeur us around San Diego. You can
take us to a speakeasy.
Take us to speakeasy. So yeah, if you watch the that video up on YouTube of us playing the VR, you'll see Toby in there. It's our Patreon producer. Awesome dude. Also my brother-in-law, so I have to say he's awesome. He pays us and he's family, so it's kind of I don't know, conflict of interest maybe. Remember, you can also support us here on Twitch. It is September, which means it is Subtember, which means you get 20% off your first month subscription. So I think it's, what does that mean? It's only $2.99 now or $3.99? I don't know. It's cheaper.
Significantly discounted.
And we still get the same amount of money. So that basically means less goes to Twitch. We get the same amount. I have a goal right now. So by the end of September, I want to get 50 subscribers. We're up to, 50 new subscribers, let's say. Not 50 total, 50 new ones. So we've gotten 2 in the last few days. I've been streaming quite a bit. I think I've streamed like 2 or 3 days already in September. It's been kind of crazy, but it's been a lot of fun. So remember, you can subscribe for free with Amazon Prime. So if you do have a free subscription, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, subscribe for free.
Definitely appreciated it.
It's discounted right now with Subtember. All through September, you can subscribe to us, and you get emotes and with all of our faces. No, I didn't. What the heck? Okay. Well, there you go. You all just saw it in real life there. Okay, so Skyline TA just gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much, Skyline. So this is breaking news. Thank you so much, Selks. I really appreciate it. That's amazing. You really didn't have to do that, but I appreciate it, and that's going to help us hit our goal. We're trying to get to 50, and there we go. That's a good chunk. So thank you so much. You guys who are listening and watching later on, remember, come over to our Twitch channel. And if you follow us ahead of time, turn on those notifications when I do go live. If Adrian goes live, if anyone goes live, you can watch us. You'll know when we go live, and you can subscribe to us. So, all right. I think that's it. And time to get back to the show. Alrighty. Man, I'm still so stoked from those subs. Thank you so much, Selks. That was you didn't have to
that
do
was
that.
awesome.
I really appreciate it. You're a mate. You're awesome.
That
dude.
was cool.
I appreciate you. And let's get into what you've been playing. It's been a couple weeks. So I'm hoping you all have lots to gush about here. So we're gonna start with you, JJ, because I know you definitely have something to talk about.
Heck yeah, dude. I've been sick and at home, so I've been playing a crap ton of Switch. And so I have been playing on the old Nintendo online, and been playing a lot of Super Mario Brothers 2, and I've been playing Ninja Gaiden, which is one of my favorite games from when I was a kid. So
you've been getting your butt kicked in Ninja Gaiden.
Oh my gosh, dude. Are you kidding? Horrible. That game is so hard.
Ridiculous.
I remember being so good at it as a kid, and it was one of my favorite games of all time, and it still holds up, dude. If you guys
no. It's a great game. It's just hard as nails.
Super hard. But I did beat the first couple of bosses, and I felt like a boss. Like legitimately, I was like, hell yeah, still got it. But I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to get there because I died a lot. And then my daughter, it's actually her Switch. It's her light Switch, Switch Lite. And so she said, like, Dad, I want to play that game. So I let her play a little bit of that game, and she was doing pretty good. But I felt like I couldn't let her do too well. You know what I mean? Because then it takes away how good I was doing.
Right.
So I was like, that game's too violent for you, babe. So sorry.
I know it was made in 1985 when you can, barely see pixels of, let alone, see any decapitations, but it's too violent for you.
Dude, and that's the crazy thing is for an 8-bit game, the game is so much fun. And it was,
it had cutscenes. It had cutscenes.
And they were amazing. They were amazing little cutscenes. And that game, I think it was pushing the boundaries for how awesome the NES was, the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was an amazing game, and it still is. If you guys haven't played it, if you've got your Switch online, please go play that game. Give it 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You won't be disappointed because that's a lot of fun.
Right on.
Garrett, you were looking at me like you've never heard of that game before.
No, I've heard of Ninja Gaiden.
Thank God.
Played it. No, I've heard of it. I just haven't played it. I've always heard how hard it is. That's all I've ever heard about it. Is it's a really hard game.
The pronunciation is hard. I do not know. When we were kids, it was Ninja Gaiden. Okay. Then I believe I heard it was Ninja Gaiden. I don't really know. There's so many.
I've only ever heard Gaiden.
Pronunciations. You've never heard Gaiden?
No, I said I've only ever heard Gaiden.
Gaiden. Okay.
I'm looking it up right now. How to pronounce? Okay.
I was saying Gaiden, but I could be wrong.
I mean, it's probably not.
Okay, so according to Google, I don't know how Google knows this, but when I typed it in, it says Ninja Gaiden, the video game series, sounds like, and it gives me a pronunciation. It is Ninja Gaiden.
There we go.
Aha.
So you were close.
Ninja Gaiden, D-N, just din. So there you go. Google says so. Right. Google knows all. Let's see. Sulks in the chat actually says, Skyline. Sorry, he has a new name now. He rebranded. The input on the Switch for those quick response games like Ninja Gaiden is spot on. Very, very responsive and fun. Beautiful port of the classic Pain game. Haha. So yeah, that is true. If some of those quick, twitchy, retro games, which there's a lot of them are very much skill based. You had to be good, get good, or you can't play this.
Mega Man was like that.
Man, if you're playing on an emulator that doesn't quite have that quick response time, you're screwed. So I'm glad that the Switch really has it dialed in. It's just when you
they made it.
It does it. Yeah, no, right, exactly. So yeah, he makes a good point there. If it, the quick response, man, kills it. What about you, Adrian? What have you been playing?
I have been playing. This is in reference to my earlier comments about having to go see the boss. I have been bringing my trusty PS Vita with me everywhere I go because I've recently started up a good old run of Metal Gear Solid 3: Snake Eater.
Nice.
And let me tell you, that game looks darn good on Vita. It's surprising how good they were able to get that game to look and run on that system. And man, what a game. I can definitely see the case for everybody saying that, you know, each Metal Gear is their favorite, and I can definitely see why with 3.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't know.
So good.
I don't want I and that was, you know, clearly brought on by the fact that we've been watching the Kind of Funny Let's Play of them doing 1 and 2, and I was like, look, I can't wait. They're gonna take forever to get to 3. I need to know. I need to figure out what happens again now, right?
Yeah.
And then weird, yeah, that they were doing that, and then now you're starting your Metal Gear playthrough. So I've been having Metal Gear on the brain, so I was like, I gotta figure out. I gotta scratch this itch somehow. So that's what I've been into,
Dude, they're so good.
as of late.
I tell you what, like I fired up Friday night. I played 3.5 hours of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1 because I have my PS1, so playing on the original console, not emulated, not ported, nothing like that. And it feels so good. It looks surprisingly good. And to be honest,
so ahead of its time.
So ahead of its time. And honestly, playing through it too, I'm like, there's things that I forgot about that I'm remembering, like, oh, I totally forgot about that. Even after just watching like Kind of Funny's playthrough of it, I'm like, oh man, I forgot about that. Oh, I'd get, but then again, they played the PC port, which I think has some differences. So far, like there's been some dialogue things. I'm like, I don't remember them saying that in the PC port, which is interesting. But also like finding little like Easter eggs and stuff in there. Like before the stream, when I was testing things out, I sat like forever with Solid Snake, like for an hour. I forgot the PlayStation was on, and I was sitting, you know, at the start where you come up out of the water, and then like I was like, oh shoot, okay.
Did you get sick?
Like, well, no, just for fun. So this is the first one. I don't think you can get sick in the first one.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But I just sat there forever. It was like an hour, and then I ran to the elevator. And when I got to the top of the elevator, when I talked to Campbell, he made some comment about it. Like it took you a really long time to get to that. Get upstairs. I'm like, what? I've never come across that. I've played this game 100 times. I didn't realize if you sit there for too long, if it takes you too long to get out of that first, training area.
Snake, we don't have time to do this.
Yeah, he comments on it. I'm like, this is a game. It came out in 1998 for the PlayStation 1. Developed like even earlier than that. And they still had stuff like that. Or also during that playthrough, if you watch through it at youtube.com/supergamerboys, I crawl into an event and there's some rats in there. And so I've had the call with Master Miller 100 times. Like I said, I've played this game a ton of times. I know how the conversation goes. I jump in the event and I happen to bump into like a bunch of rats. He calls at the same time, introduces himself to me. And all of a sudden he's like talking to me and informing me on like these rats, like oh yeah, the Alaskan wild mice and blah blah blah. And I'm like, he's never done this before. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is like hidden dialogue, and it's stupid. Like, who cares about the rats? But it's just like, this is a PlayStation 1 game from 1998.
Yes.
Like the technology that had like the forethought,
it's a PS1 game with PS2 ambition.
God. Yeah, it just blew my mind. I was like, how in the world did he make this game? It's just so crazy. Yeah. So sorry, it was your turn to do what you're playing, but I cut in there because I was just been blown away.
No,
by
man,
Metal Gear.
we're on the same wavelength.
So amazing. Honestly, that's all I've been playing too. I don't really have much more other than
That's perfectly fine.
I played some more Hades because we had our book club episode, which you should go listen to if you got to support us on Patreon for that. And then Phasmophobia had a new update, which made the game extremely hard. So me and my brother played a couple nights ago. Just got trounced. Just got killed every ghost. It was.
Do you think
horrible.
that game's ever going to come to anything but PC so I can finally play it?
It's still in early access, so not anytime soon. It's only like it's so early access still. But anyways, so a couple days ago we just got trounced. It was horrible. We just got destroyed. It's really, really hard. Well, I'm like, okay, Jake, you know what? You go back to your cave and watch your YouTube videos and learn all those pro strats, and then come back and teach me. Well, last night he did. He came back and we started playing through with all these new strategies he came up with. And I know my video froze, JJ. You don't have to make a comment about it.
Why does it always got to be JJ was going to make a comment? Right?
Dude, like he did. He was like giving me all the info about it, and I'm like, dude, like the game is still very hard. So much fun though. Like it actually is like challenging now. It's not just hard. It's like, oh, before it was too easy at some points. So yeah, Phasmophobia is top notch. I can't wait for that to finally come out of early access and be like good. So
yeah, I can't wait because all I ever hear is how good it is, how fun it is to play with friends, how creative, how you all have to work together.
Okay, so it's only whenever I turn my webcam on, then it freezes up Discord because I haven't dropped any frames on the stream. So the stream and the video recording for the podcast has been totally fine. It's only Discord crashes when I turn my webcam on. So I guess they just won't see me for the rest of the show here. So I forget what I was talking about. Oh, Phasmophobia, go play it. But yeah, that's all I have for the show. So let me do the outro now. Man, that really threw me for a loop here. Again, you won't be able to see my face. It's just going to say EOS webcam utility. So thanks, Canon, for nothing. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. We appreciate it. Remember, if you love what we do, you want to get episodes early, you want to get some cool, fun stuff, you want to be just generally an awesome person, subscribe to us, support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. And you can get our book club episodes early and ad-free now. And this episode, before everyone else, if you weren't one of those cool people who are here live. sgbstore.com if you want to get some sweet merch. We got t-shirts, we got mugs, we got stickers, all sorts of cool stuff. You can rate and review us over on your favorite podcast apps. Remember, on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, smash that like button on this episode and all the other episodes if you can. That helps us get found over there, YouTube algorithms and stuff. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys, facebook.com/supergamerboys. I am over on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me everywhere at Homeboy.
At Homeboy. All right. And JJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at JJ Purdom.
And at the zoo.
And at the zoo.
Definitely at the zoo. I'll be right out there up front. Handing out sack lunches.
And that's all I got for you guys today.
All right. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here this week. And can I just say, for 39 cents a day, you can help Garrett end up having affordable internet that doesn't cut out. And
it's not my internet. That's the thing. I'm still streaming. I haven't had any issues. It's my webcam broke my computer. It's my webcam.
Garrett, stop killing the joke. Okay. For 3. All right, guys.
Let's go.
For Garrett Morlang, for Adrian Holmes, I'm JJ Purdom, and we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Well, the two of us will. You probably will.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the webcam utility.
We'll see you guys next time. Webcam. That's so horrible. This is the best he's looked in a while. He looks slimmer.